Good morning. I can honestly say for the very first time in my life, I am going to watch a spring football game. And it's not because I'm desperate for content, because I'm not. No, I am genuinely interested in the progress for USC under incoming coach Lincoln Riley. And I think you should be too, so we're going to talk about it. Good morning. This is your daily dose of sports and start for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is a glorious Saturday morning, April 23rd, 2022. Now, before we get to the news and notes, I want to thank the new subscribers who joined in the last 24 hours. We added a bunch of them. It's awesome. If you do enjoy the content we've been putting out for the last couple of months, feel free to clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. We try to put out a new video between 9 and 10 a.m. every single day. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yes, comment. I am not God. I don't know everything. Now, before we get to the main topic of USC football, let's go through the scoreboard, the news, and the notes. Last night, remember how everybody was saying, oh my God, Mookie Betts is slumping? I don't remember it. He hit 2 home runs last night. Dodgers 6, Padres 1. The Dodgers have won 9 of 10 games. And also a little funky note from that game, a fan threw a beer at Cody Bellinger after he made a great catch. I think it's about time we put to rest this BS notion that San Diego is classy, okay? Stop it. You're just as dirty as anybody else in this sports world, okay, San Diego? I mean, you have a moderately attractive city. Everybody likes the killer whale. But I don't base my self-worth on the lines of a Will Ferrell movie, and neither should you. You're not classy. Shut the hell up. And the only thing that matters is the scoreboard. You lost. Good night. Meanwhile, today, the Dodgers will play the Padres again at 4:40. The Ducks will play the Kings at 7:30, and it's also Galaxy game day. They will play Nashville. Now for the notes. LeBron James has vowed never to miss the playoffs again in his career because, quote, that S hurt, unquote. Yeah, it hurt not just for you. I hurt for a lot of us. Look, I appreciate the fact that you don't want your reputation sullied by missing the playoffs, but you're just going to have to figure out a way to get your teammates on board, okay? There's bigger problems than whether or not you personally had a good year. So no, appreciate it. We're going to take a wait-and-see approach. Dodgers relief pitcher Blake Trinan, he's on the IL. He's experiencing shoulder discomfort. The Dodgers aren't really given a whole lot of more information from that. The Rams have tendered restricted free agents inside linebacker Traven Howard, who is going to play a vital role for the team, and backup quarterback John Wolford, who we hope doesn't play a vital role for the team. Clippers, sad news. Freeman Williams, he played for the Clippers when the team was in San Diego, and he later played in the movie White Men Can't Jump. He has passed away. He was 65. UCLA news from the football team. And by the way, if you're watching this clip and you're a UCLA fan, your spring showcase is on the Pac-12 network now. You can come back and watch later. I get it. Linebacker Caleb Johnson is committed to Miami over Texas. It's an interesting note to me because he is the second player to leave Westwood to go to Miami. The other was defensive end Mitchell Agude. Johnson is in the run to be the starting linebacker. Go figure. Now, before we talk the good news about the Trojans, let's talk something a little strange. Kicker Parker Lewis. Okay, so he transfers to Ohio State, and now he's talking crap. And I'm here to tell you, dude, stop. Okay? Oh, the atmosphere at Ohio State, even the spring game was better than the atmosphere over at USC. Well, yeah. Has it ever occurred to you that you played a role in that? You were part of 2 multiple lousy football teams. The Trojans went 4-8. Look, the Trojans, and you played a role in this because you were on the team, have been bad for a decade, okay? Ain't no atmosphere going to be great if any program is bad for a decade. None of them. Ain't no Buckeye on your helmet gonna wash off that stink from you being part of a 4-8 football team, okay? If Ohio State went 4-8, people would quit en masse. The band wouldn't even have enough people to dot that stupid I at midfield. So don't come telling me about how great the atmosphere in Ohio State is when you were part of a losing program too, pal. What I'm trying to get at is this. The world needs absolutely zero crap-talking kickers. Go onto the field, put the ball through the uprights, jog off the field. That's your job. Open mic night, not so much. What do you say we go to the happier side of USC, the optimistic side? I'm going to be your Tony Robbins this morning. Look, USC, I mentioned the 4-8 record last year, and because of that, the expectations right now are pretty high. Would you agree? Right? But there are reasons to temper the enthusiasm just a little bit. So before we get to the stuff that should make you excited and happy, we're going to talk about the reasons to okay, let's look at this game with a bit of a sobering eye. The first reason to not get too hyped for this game is that there are only going to be maybe about 60 players taking part. And so the reason for that, look, a lot of players, such as Parker Lewis, left the program because they knew that the Clay Helton gravy train of stupidity finally flew off the cliff, right? So as a result, a lot of players left. And USC right now does not have enough bodies to field two full teams, like if it was going to be the Cardinal versus the Gold, okay? So as a result, it's probably going to be offense versus defense. Fine, we can live with that. Also, the Trojans admit that they're going to be extremely active in the transfer portal because the transfer portal didn't just happen just in the post-bowl game to this. No, the transfer portal is open until May 1st. So some of the players that you see today are going to be given some bad news. Hey, man, we tried you at first string, but we don't know if you're going to cut it, so you're going to be dropped to third or fourth. And they'll say, well, I'm going to enter the transfer portal. You know, they're going to get some bad news, so there will be some people leaving. And oh, by the way, the Trojans will be extremely active in the transfer portal too, bringing people in. So not all the people that you see today are going to be represented in Cardinal and Gold in the fall. Number three, another reason to kind of temper the enthusiasm. If incoming quarterback Caleb Williams goes nuts and just lights it up, try to remember that the Trojans are extremely thin at cornerback. Like, for example, there was a cornerback, Prophet Brown. They like him, but he only got one start last year against Cal, right? Why is that an ish? Because he is now the grizzled veteran for the rest of the backfield. Yeah, so there's some holes out in the defensive backfield that Caleb Williams will probably exploit. It just is what it is. Now for the stuff that should be interesting to watch. This has me geeked. The game is going to be full contact. There will be tackling. There will be hitting. Not that they're trying to murder each other, but this matters because former coach Clay Helton wouldn't allow full contact either in the spring game or in the practices. There were stories about how the gerbil, and I apologize, I always wanted to call Clay Helton a gerbil because he looks like a gerbil. But he's also a grown man, so and he doesn't coach for SC anymore, so I'm going to put it aside. Anyway, Helton wouldn't even allow hitting in practice. It was because he wanted to keep the players healthy and fresh for the game. Oh, yeah, they were very fresh. They were very fresh, but they also couldn't tackle squat. They couldn't. They were awful at it. And so now we're actually going to see how you have to be re-taught how to tackle. There is technique, there is form, and the Trojans' incoming coaching staff has been going out of its way to re-educate these guys in how to put somebody and slam them to the ground. And I want to see that progress. I really do. I also want to see how they're going to rush the quarterback now that Alex Grinch has replaced Todd Orlando as defensive coordinator. There's a lot of questions as to how they're going to do that. Now, you remember they started to teach Corey Foreman how to rush like a linebacker during spring ball. He's a defensive end. He was supposed to have his hand in the dirt. They're teaching him how to not do that because maybe, just maybe, he's going to start to rush as an outside linebacker or maybe be a hybrid outside linebacker, defensive end. It's all up in the air. We don't know for sure what they're going to do. And if you remember, I just mentioned a moment ago about how Brown had only one start in the defensive backfield. All of the end rushers combined, 0 starts. So this is where we find out how much progress this group has made. It is true that they're not going to open up the playbook. It's the only spring game broadcast on ESPN. And of course, they don't want to give extra hints, extra intel to the rest of the Pac-12. But we can still figure out who is going to be among the starting receivers for USC. You know, there's Mario Williams, who, like Riley and Caleb Williams, they came in from Oklahoma. There's Brendan Rice of Colorado. The transfers apparently, from what I've been reading, apparently have been getting good coverage or good reviews. The offensive line, I'm looking forward to that because they're apparently getting with the program because of their experience. Either that or Lincoln Riley is guilty of talking them up just a little too high. We need to know. Also, something that really has me personally interested, linebacker Shane Lee. He's an Alabama transfer. The coaches are just smitten with him because even though he's transferred in, he is already the defensive play caller. That is progress. That is legit progress. So I want to see this because one of the things before I started this program, I would talk on social media about the Trojans. And the one thing that I always wish that the Trojans would have, and I don't think they ever did under Clay Helton, have somebody wearing the 55. I want to see somebody wearing the storied number that says UCLA has a legit leader on defense. The guy everybody rallies around. I am hopeful, damn near praying, that Shane Lee becomes the next 55. So here's the bottom line with the Trojans. I don't know if this is hype or not, all the stuff that we've been reading, because sports writers can be notoriously inaccurate about their predictions. The going line is if the progress holds up and that the rest of the Pac-12 is predictably sketchy, then USC should have at least 10 wins. They're saying 10 wins, these sports writers are, but still Trojans fans, lower your expectations. I think 10 wins after that dumpster fire of Clay Helton would only raise expectations because that should get the Trojans on the periphery of going to the college football playoffs, and it should get them a New Year's Day game. That should have you excited. Now, by the way, a programming note, unless something big breaks in LA sports, next week, Faithful Angelenos is going to preview the upcoming NFL draft. We're going to preview the Super Bowl champion Rams. We're going to preview the improved Chargers. We're also going to talk about which prospects from UCLA and, of course, USC might come onto the stage and get that glorious fake one-armed hug from Roger Goodell. Now, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, thank you. By all means, like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We will be back tomorrow. We try to produce every single day. I'm James. Thank you for watching. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corta El Queso production. Have a good day.